you have to balance it. So you walk into this door and now you're a social worker. You walk out of this door, you are not dealing with GBV cases. So you're not carrying this burden to your house. You're leaving it there until the next day. Now you handle it again. So that is the only way you can survive. Really not so easy. Trust me, it's not so easy. It's traumatizing, and you need to really have. You need to be strong emotionally. You need to be very strong emotionally. The perpetrators have become smart. They can tell the child to take off their clothes and they throw them away, maybe they wash them or they dispose them. And so you realize that they are trying to tamper with the evidence, and it becomes so hard once these cases are in the court. It becomes so hard to prove that this person is actually guilty because they already tampered with the evidence.
Hello everyone, welcome to Youth Mentors and VCs again. This is Shak here, founder of Youth Mentors and VCs. I'm really grateful for everyone tuning into our episodes. We're learning, we're growing, actually expanding internationally, and that's why I'm happy. There's someone who told me the other day, how do you expect to have international networks when you're listening to your local people? There's a good thing I'm listening to international people, and you're also getting international people to our podcast. Yeah. Also, we've opened a comedy and entertainment podcast with my colleague and brother. It's called Shots Fired. So if you want to laugh, there is where you go and see my unfiltered side of me, my raw side of me. So I'll tag the YouTube channel there so that we can go and have fun. Besides that, today we have a really, really exciting guest. I've really wanted to have a chat with her for the longest time. She's been busy for me, but my prayers, when I strike them, they usually come back with replies and answers. So, so she's finally here, and you guys are in for a ride, the way I'm in for a ride, and I believe you'll enjoy. Before I start, I want to introduce our sponsors, Brand Rico. For more, they deal with plant-based coconut yogurt made in Watamu. For those who are lactose intolerant, this is your plug actually to go and get the yogurt. For those who don't consume dairy, we got a solution for you from Rico Amor. Also, our brand partner called Allo.co. They deal with women fashion. Actually, for these ladies who love luxury brands, this is your way to go. And also, we have a school in Kenya called Rufina School that we support with donations and charity for the children living in the slum areas. So we're gonna put a picture so that you guys, for those who love giving, to go and support this school, because we believe giving is receiving. Best part, the part that you and I have been waiting for, is finally here. The part I cannot even extend 1 minute further to meet my guest today. Welcome, Slim, to Youth Mentors and VC. How are you today?
Thank you so much. I'm doing well. And you?
I'm doing awesome, but we've agreed we're not here for short answers. We're here for long answers.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, my listeners of our podcast usually love the fun moments, the smiles. Those are the ones that we long for. And I know this episode is gonna live 50 years to come. And I believe the person who will see it 50 years from today will be like, these people are really having fun. So I believe we'll have fun today, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
So maybe you can introduce yourself to our guests and let them know what you do.
Okay. So first of all, thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me for this amazing opportunity. It's usually amazing to always be part of these platforms whereby we can interact, we can talk, and we can connect. So my name is Zaahida Slim. I am a social worker by profession. I work in the county government of Mombasa at the Department of Youth, Gender, Sports and Social Services. And apart from my work, I'm also the founder of Mombasa Jitambue. So this is an organization that empowers the youth of Mombasa, and mostly we focus on building talent. So what we do at Mombasa Jitambue, we help our mentees discover themselves, discover their passion, their interest, and basically how to navigate through this life. So I believe most people are trying to find a way to, let's say, a smooth pathway. Yeah. Most of us challenged with uncertainties that we have in life, especially between the age of, let's say, 19 to mid 20s. You're trying to figure out who you really are, what you're trying to do, and all. So Mombasa Jitambue has built that space to help these young people understand themselves and not be in that crisis, identity crisis and life crisis. Yeah.
Mm. So where did the name Jitambue come from?
The name, okay, like I said, Jitambue itself, knowing yourself, yeah. Jitambue, kujijua. Yeah, so we noticed that actually we start. So I'm the founder, Zaahida Slim, and then I started this initiative with Coach Fatima. So she's the co-founder of Mombasa Jitambue. We sat down together and tried to figure out a name that's gonna resonate with our people. And as we were looking at the dynamics that we have here, most of us don't really know who we are. Yeah. Most of us struggle to define ourselves. Most of us struggle to express ourselves. So we decided to come up with this name that is going to resonate with all of us young people who are always confused. I'm sorry to say this, but we seemed confused at times because, normally what you do, we just do things because other people are doing them. Because I'm seeing my friend, because I'm seeing my cousin is doing something and I also do it. So along the way, you realize that you don't really understand why you do what you do, and you feel stuck and you feel you have no motivation. But it's because it's not something that you really wanted. It's because you compared yourself with somebody else. Maybe because okay, so you see Zahida on social media and you see her, I'm not bragging, but you see her shining, you see her doing her thing, and you're like, oh wow, Zahida is doing this thing. I also want to do it. Not because you love it, not because you are passionate or because you are experienced with it, but if she can shine, maybe I can also shine. So you go out there for the sake of shining and not to have an impact or maybe to fulfill yourself. So the name is just to resonate with our people.
Also, there's something about your first name. Can you speak about it?
My first name, Zaahida.
Yeah. I've never had it anywhere. What does it mean?
Yeah, Zaahida is a unique name. It's
What
not
does it
really
mean?
cool. You don't enter a room and you find a Zaahida.
Yeah, even me, I was wondering. I was like, hey, Jesus, is she coming from planet Mars?
Well, my name has a beautiful meaning actually. It means someone who is detached from this world, somebody that has dedicated her life just to serve God and is not moved by the worldly desires, the wealth, and all that.
So is it
I
true?
can say I'm Zahida. Yeah.
So is it true you're detached and Because it can
Yes,
be a name that your parents gave you, but you don't care about it. So are you living according to that name?
yes, absolutely.
Ah,
Because
okay.
the purpose that I chose is, people think, whenever I'm actually, what can I say? I told this person I can do community work for the rest of my life without being paid, and people think you're crazy.
You are crazy.
Yeah, well, I'm not. I'm a dreamer. So it's not that I don't need money. Of course, I know money is really important and it's a necessity, because how can we sustain ourselves if we don't have money? Yeah. But then money is not like a priority, or I won't say money is something that I've put that I need to work on and get it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not my main objective. Yeah. My main objective is to serve people, is to touch people's heart, and is to let them know that life is not about the challenges that we see, maybe the wars that are going on. It's not all about that, but there's beauty in it. Even the challenges that we go through, there's beauty in those challenges. So I want everybody to feel that
So for
and
how
to see
long
the
have you been
beauty of
serving people?
it. For how long? Well, I'll say since 2018, because
Mm.
that's when I started working.
Ah, so okay.
Yeah, I
So
got
with
into community work through a
through a what?
contract. I got a contract in the national government back in
Uh,
2018, and that is when I got into community work.
okay, okay. So let me just ask in general. So what inspired you? Okay, you say the contract, but what inspired you
What
even to keep
really?
on, to be in the
Yeah.
social work and also focus on maybe the
Mm,
GBV and also
mm,
maybe the mental health arena that
yeah.
you're usually passionate about?
Mm. Okay. What really inspired me actually is my dad. So my dad was not a social worker. My late dad, he was not a social worker. He wasn't into the community work, but my dad served people, and he was the kind of person who could help someone at work, whether they are a colleague or just a friend or an acquaintance. So he also served his family members. Like, he was the kind of person you could go to with whatever issue you had. Those kind of people that you have in life. Like, you are going through a crisis, or you don't know what to do, decisions, you're having those kind of challenges. He was your go-to person. So he influenced a lot of people, and when you sit down with him, you could always be inspired, because he was always spewing wisdom. Like, whenever you sit down with him, he talks purely wisdom, and you find that words are deep. Yeah. And words have power. So through him, I got to learn that. I got to learn how words are so powerful. I could be having financial crisis, but just talking to you and trying to make you understand the path that you need to choose, and it could actually help you out. So sometimes I can't help you financially, but I can always guide you. And I can always talk to you in a way that you find that, oh, okay, I can actually do this. You realize that we might be confused with the things that we need to do, or maybe to find solutions to something. But then if I help you understand, or if I help you figure out that solution just by talking to you. So
Mm.
I saw how he influenced people, and I admired that. And the day he died, I made a promise that I'm gonna be like you. And then when I look back now, as I connect the dots, as a child, I used to hate seeing people being mistreated. I used to hate seeing people being done injustice. And I used to really wish that I could have that power to help them get out of that situation, or to find justice for them. Even teachers, when they hit the students, I used to hate that, because I'm like, why are you treating this child like that? That is so wrong. If only I could report you. If only I could do something to help this child get justice. Yeah. So I think I could say a personality, Yeah, I could say a personality, and then at the same time, my dad influenced it. So I got the day I chose this career is because of that passion. When I realized this is actually my passion. So funny story, I didn't start social work right after high school. um, when I got into this job, because they only needed computer certificate because it was a data entry position. But then I was in this sector whereby I was serving the old people, I was serving the PWDs and the orphans. Now through I'm just doing my job, just serving them. But then that fulfillment that I got from serving these people, because they felt like this person is here for us. And the reward that I got from that place was their prayers. Now I'm also a strong believer in prayers. I believe prayers can move mountains, prayers can do anything for you. So the rewards that I got from serving these people was prayers, and I was like, this is what I need. This is something that would keep me moving, because prayers can also change destiny. So yeah, I did that work until 2019. Then 2020, sorry, 2020 Corona time, my contract was over. So I was also among the jobless people during Corona time. Yeah, which was frustrating. But then fast forward to 2021, I joined the county as an attaché actually. And that is when I got into the GBV sector. So
Mm. So,
I
mhm.
Yeah. So that is when I got into working with GBV survivors as an attaché. I loved what I was doing because I could see the transformation that I had, or the impact that I had on these survivors. And I knew I was in the right place. I knew this is where I belong, and this is what I was going to do. So I started as an attaché, then I volunteered in the same place. I volunteered for almost 2 years, then I got absorbed as a social worker in the county. And here I am today. I could speak about
Mm.
GBV. I could speak about mental health because of that experience that I got. And GBV is
Uh,
something that it's I think it's a sector that I hold dear to my heart, because I can see how uh, the impact that it has had, or it's still having on people. Yeah.
mm. So it's not something that you went through, right?
No.
Mm. Mm. Okay. So let me mention this. Okay. So for me, I have this challenge where I just can't stand seeing blood, um, and stay for long in the hospital because that
Mm,
environment just kind of it scares me. Let me say it scares me, right? So I usually pray to God,
yeah.
hey, please just help me out not to be in such situations. And for you, you got into GBV and mental health um, field just because of work. So there's no way that when people are telling you their stories or even you see what people have gone through, it doesn't affect your mind at some point. Because for me, I can't keep up with that conversation for maybe even 2 hours or 30 minutes because it will mess my
Mm,
head up.
true. No, it's very true. It's actually traumatizing, because I mean, if you also see this news on the news, yeah, you get hurt, you get disheartened, and you feel so bad for these people. So you can imagine if you're sitting with this person on a one-on-one basis. It's actually not so easy. Trust me, it's not so easy. It's traumatizing, and you need to really have uh, you need to be strong emotionally. You need to be very strong emotionally. And there are times you can't be in that place because you're afraid you might show your emotions. Sympathy, you can have sympathy, but then you can't cry when this person is also crying, because you have to be strong for that person. You need to help that person. If both of us cry, then who is going to help this person? Yeah, so you have to be strong for that person. But then we are humans, we have emotions, and if it reaches a point whereby it gets overwhelming, you're always allowed to step out, maybe breathe, wash your face, and try to recollect your emotions back. But to be honest, these cases, it's never easy to handle them. It's never easy. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I am traumatized. I'm not gonna lie to you, I am traumatized. But then the impact is not severe on me because I work on it. I work on it, and I've trained my mind in a way that I don't absorb everything that I get. I don't absorb all the cases that I receive. So I do care for this person, but at the same time, I look at my well-being. So you need to maintain that balance, and it's all like a mindset shift. You just have to train your mind to do that, because if you don't, trust me, you can't do this one. You can't. It's not easy, and it's never easy. I'm not gonna lie, it's never easy, but um, it's fulfilling. At
So
the
how
same
many,
time,
how many, how many, how many, how many stories can you handle in a day?
in a day, well, it depends. It actually depends with the type of case, because we have different type of cases. So it actually depends. But I can't take more than three. Sometimes I'll take one case and I can't handle another because my head feels like it's gonna burst. So it actually depends with the type of cases. There are days you can handle two, you can handle three, but more than three, that is overwhelming.
So how do you sleep at night?
It's good.
Um,
Like I said, I trained my mind. Like I said, I had to do that because I couldn't, like, every time when I started dealing with these cases, it was so hard for me. And whenever I got home, I was just crying, telling my mom, how can people be like this? People are so evil. How can they do this to young children, especially the children? Trust me, it's hurtful, it's heartbreaking. Trust me. And you feel like you could just, if it wasn't for professionalism, you could just go to the perpetrator and strangle that person. If it wasn't for professionalism, trust me. Sometimes you're like, no, me, I can't be a judge because I feel like I would slap and strangle these people. But then they also have a right. So you, I got someone who advised me that when you come here, make sure you leave everything at home, like whatever is happening at home and all that, you leave it there. So when you walk in here, you are a social worker and you are dealing with, it's purely work. Even your emotions, whatever you're going through at home, you leave it at the doorstep. So when you walk in here, it's purely work. And the moment you walk out of this place, you leave everything here. And now it's time for you to go home, and you're dealing with anything that is happening at home. You're dealing with your life besides work. You get what I mean?
yeah.
Like that is how you have to balance it. So you walk into this door and now you are a social worker. You walk out of this door, you are not dealing with GBV cases. So you're not carrying this burden to your house. You're leaving it there until the next day. Now you handle it again. So that is the only way you can survive.
All right, Bibi, can you share some of the biggest challenges that GBV survivors face in Mombasa and how your work addresses them?
So the challenges, I think one of the biggest challenges is actually the society itself. So the society condones this act, and you realize that society plays a bigger role in all this. Yeah, and we need the society, but then we need it to be on our side, not against us. But unfortunately, most of the time the society is against us. So we realize people are ready to protect the perpetrator and not the survivor. So what do? You have been defiled, you have been raped. That is already something that has a severe impact on you. And then you come to the society doesn't accept you. They say maybe you're lying. the society will call you names. The society will stigmatize you. And it was never your fault. Sometimes you're even blamed for that, but it was never your fault. Because you cannot tell me a 2 years or 3 years child, can they really tempt you in any way?
No.
They can't. So how do you even blame that child? How do you even blame that child? Because most of the times you hear people blame yani, like the victim. They blame the victim. Oh, it's because of how you dressed. Oh, it's because of this. So what about that child? What about that child? Yeah. So society plays a big role in the challenges that we face in this field. And number two, I'll say, so we also have kangaroo courts. Do you know kangaroo courts?
First time.
So kangaroo courts, they usually solve these issues locally. They usually solve these issues locally. So basically, they don't go forward to the authorities or the hospital or anything. They just sit down, the parents and whoever did this thing, they talk. Maybe the perpetrator can even pay them money, like a compensation. Okay, take 10K, 10K, and you've traumatized this child for the rest of their life for 10,000 shillings. Yeah. So the parents accept that. Unfortunately, the parents accept that because sometimes the perpetrators are always the people close to us. It's always the people close to us. And this is your neighbor. This is your family member. It can be your father. It can be your brother. It can be your uncle. It can be your grandfather. So it's the closest to us. Now, can you really go and report your grandfather, or can you really go and report your husband? So instead of doing that, you decide to protect this person. But then you fail to understand that you are hurting this child and you have, okay, I won't say you have ruined, but then you've caused a trauma to this child and it's gonna act as a hindrance to their progress in life. And another thing, cases take long in the courts. So sometimes you find that perpetrators decide to just give up because they're like, okay, I've been on this case for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, nothing is happening. I might just leave it at that. So it's actually a big challenge that we still have, but I see that they're trying so hard. They're trying to at least make things work a bit faster because now we work closely with them. We work with the children's court, we work with Mombasa Law Court and Shanzu Court. So for the Shanzu Court, they also have they launched what is it called? An SGBV court, like purely dealing with these cases. So that is actually something I think we can say it was a progress or a milestone for the working with this or working in this field basically. So I'll say those are the biggest challenges that you're having, and the parents themselves they get traumatized as well. So normally we will focus on the child, but then we forget the parent. Now, why do I say the parents? Why do I say we are neglecting the parents? Because this parent is raising this child. So there is a disconnection between the parent and the child once this incident happened. And we realize that we need our parents in our lives. We need both the mother and the father for our own well-being. So imagine you are living, but then you are growing up having that kind of disconnection with your parents. It's never a nice thing because it affects us in the future. You know, all these experiences that we go through, they affect our future in one way or another. So there is that disconnection and parents are being neglected. No counseling is being done for them. But right now, I think based on the pattern that we've had, at least for us, we also conduct counseling for the parents as well, because we need to bring that connection back. This child needs to be accepted back in the family, and the only way we can do that is to bring this parent on board. So the parent has to go through their own healing journey, and the child has to go through their own healing journey. Then when they come together, they become a mother and a child, or a father and a child, a parent and a child. So I'll
Yeah.
say
So
those are the biggest challenges that you're having. And another thing is the perpetrators have become smart. So normally we say that you shouldn't take a shower once you have been defiled or you have been raped. You're not supposed to take a shower for at least 72 hours so that you don't erase the evidence. And then you're not supposed to wash your clothes. In case you need to take them off, you need to wrap them maybe in a magazine or a nylon paper that will not tamper with the evidence, because everything has to be collected. Everything is evidence. So um, the perpetrators have become smart. They can tell the child to take off their clothes and they throw them away. Maybe they wash them or they dispose them. And so you realize that they are trying to tamper with the evidence, and it becomes so hard once these cases are in the court. It becomes so hard to prove that this person is actually guilty because they already tampered with the evidence. Yeah.
wow, that's very unfortunate. So maybe you
Mm.
can just give me a rough idea, like
Mhm.
um, let's say now the parent is here. What are the words that you guys tell the parents? Because I'm just looking at from an outsider. Like, what
Mm.
can you tell a person so that they
Who?
calm down, or either just help them erase that memory from their head so that they can continue
Mm.
living and surviving?
Mm. Okay, it takes time. It takes time. It's not a one sitting thing, you know. It's not something you can do just today and it works like magic. No, it doesn't work like that. So what we do first, we let these people express themselves. We let them talk and listen to how they're feeling, because you realize that when we have so much going on in our lives, there's a lot that goes on in our head. Yeah, a lot of words. You don't know how to um, maybe put your thoughts in a way that you can actually understand what's happening in your mind. So everything is just juggling up. Your emotions and your mind are in war. You don't really understand what is happening to you. So at first you need to sit down with this parent and allow them to express themselves. Allow them to talk about the incident, because they don't even it's so hard for that person to even talk about what happened to their child. You get what I mean? Like, when you are in denial, you don't want to talk about something. Yeah, you just beat around the bush and you're trying to move, um but you're not actually pinpointing the real world that you want to say. So we let them express themselves. We let them talk about these incidents, because if we want to heal, the first thing that you need to do is acknowledge whatever has happened to you. And then once you acknowledge, you accept it. So once you've accepted whatever has happened to your child, that is I'll say, the breakthrough for starting to go on that healing journey. So along the way, it becomes easier. You start accepting, then you start to find a way on how you can live with your child, and you stop blaming yourself, because you find that parents blame themselves for what has happened to their child. Most of them feel guilty and they feel like it's actually their fault. If they were there for that child, maybe this wouldn't have happened. But then um there's destiny, I'll say there's fate. Some things are meant to happen and we are in no control of them. Yeah. We are
Mm,
in no control of our past. But what can we do? We just have to accept and learn how you can grow around it, and learn how you're going to cope, and learn how to be healthy and maintain a well-being. Yeah.
mm, mm. Okay. All right. So mental health is often stigmatized, and especially in African communities. How do you
Mm,
approach
mm,
dismantling these stigmas through Mombasa
mm.
Jitambue?
So first of all, most of us, or I'll say, when we talk about mental health, most of the times people think we're talking about depression, we're talking about ADHD, we're talking about these mental disorders. Yeah,
Me too.
most of
Me
us,
too.
yeah, yeah. So we confuse mental health with mental disorder. So
Mm.
when I'm talking about mental health, I'm talking about your well-being, your well-being. I'm talking about how is your mind functioning through the day? What are your thoughts? What do you say to yourself before even you talk to somebody else? What do you say to yourself? When you are alone in the room, what goes on inside your mind? Yeah. Do you say good words, or are you kind to yourself, or do you always blame yourself? Do you always find faults in everything that you do? When I talk about mental health, I talk about that. I don't talk about the mental disorders, because when you're talking about mental disorders, this is a whole different topic. This is a whole different thing. But with mental health, basically, is just how you're going to maintain a well-being in your day-to-day life and the experiences. So now, when we talk about mental health and we relate it with GBV, it's connected, yeah, because once you go through this thing, it affects you psychologically. Now, how are we going to take you back to being okay? How are we going to reintegrate you back into the society? It's not even about the society accepting you, but it's about how you're going to accept yourself before you even go into that society. Because at the end of the day, like I said, society plays a big role in our growth. Yeah, society plays a big role. But are you going to live the rest of your life based on these societal expectations? Are you going to live the rest of your life waiting for this society to accept you? That will never happen. But what can you do? You have to accept yourself first. Because the moment you accept yourself, this is how you're going to see you. So basically, how I see myself is how you're going to see me. You're going to see me. That is how it works. If I feel like nobody likes me, if I feel like I can't do anything, so I believe in that, then everybody else will know that I can't do anything, because I have shown that to people that I can't do anything. So people will believe that you can't do anything. But then if I see myself as capable, if I see myself as strong, then everybody else will see me as strong. So it has to start with you and not the people. So when I talk about when we come to Mombasa Jitambue, so Mombasa Jitambue, we have created this safe space. We have created a safe space whereby our participants are able to express themselves in an environment that no one judges them. And then we have built this community where they feel they belong. So when you are in a setting and people are sharing their experiences, you realize that you're not alone. You realize that you can relate with someone else. And surprisingly, as humans, we're social species. And I don't know, we have this tendency whereby when we are going through something, you feel like it's only happening to you. Yeah, you feel like, why me? You keep on asking, why me, why me? You feel like you're alone in this. But then when you are sitting with people and you're having a conversation, and you are expressing yourself, and you get to talk about maybe your experiences and the things that you're going through, then you realize, oh, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one who is going through these challenges. Actually, it's a normal thing that people have to go through. And we also have counselors. We have coaches, and of course, I'm also there. I'm part of the team. So we always tell them, we have one-on-one sessions with them, maybe if they need to talk to someone, because we have a session on our first, I'll say, first module. We go through mentorship, and mentorship is to help them go on a self-discovery journey. So when you're going on a self-discovery journey, you realize some things about yourself, and you have to bring back the memories that you pushed away and you wanted to forget them. Maybe the traumas that you went through. So we make them we've built this relationship whereby they can come to us, maybe one person, or even sometimes they share when we are in a class, or sometimes they approach us on a one-on-one basis, because some things people don't want to share. But then that is how we built this, I'll say, a holistic environment where our youth are able to express themselves, and we help them. We help them realize and or declutter the traumas. We help them to let go. We help them to acknowledge the things that have happened to them, and we make them connect the dots so that they get to understand themselves better.
Mm. Okay, okay, that's really deep, and congratulations. It's a good
Thank
one.
you.
This is it takes
Thank
a lot of guts. For many, it's a lot of balls to
mm,
handle such responsibilities. Best believe you put me in that environment, in 30 minutes I'll have run away. I can't. I honestly can't stand it. Yeah.
I've met people like you. I have a colleague actually, and he usually tells me, I don't think I'd ever be in that place. I don't think I'd ever be able to work in that place, because I feel like I'll just go out on a killing spree. I don't know
It's
how
tough.
you guys do it. I'm
It's
like,
tough.
yeah, we are just there for the psychosocial support.
Mm. Yeah, I know this information will live 50 years plus, and I know more people will gather the courage from just listening to and actually know that this is actually possible, because
Mm,
yo, I'm listening to this,
yeah,
I'm just like, Jesus, this thing actually happened. Because best
yeah,
believe if we didn't have this conversation, I'll probably
mm,
just be reading these things in the news, and
mm,
oftentimes when they show up in the news, I usually just switch off the news, turn into something else, and forget about it. But actually,
mm,
there's actually people handling such situation on a daily basis, and they actually
yeah.
face it. So yeah, this is a real world.
It is, trust me.
Yeah.
When I got into this field, I was surprised, I was shocked. I could not believe we have such inhumane people. Trust
Hmm.
me, I learned so much, but I learned so much, and my mind opened up to so many things. And it's actually, sometimes you're being put in places and you're like, wow, God, thank you for showing me this, you know? and and I believe that God doesn't put you in a place that you can't handle. So I told myself, if I am here, then these people need me, and I have to be there for them.
Definitely, you
Yeah.
can. I can't. I can't. Do you ever sleep and at times um, have nightmares or like yo, like crazy, terrible nightmares
No,
because of the things you've had during the day?
no. I've never had nightmares, but I have anxiety. Okay, it's not intense. I'll give you a scenario. Um, and this thing I've even told my mom, like, it's my fear. So I've handled cases whereby a stepfather has defiled their daughter. Yeah. So
Mm,
when I handle these cases, the trauma that I had is, I'm afraid of every girl child. Whenever I see them being held by their dad, I'm scared for them. I'm like, what if this dad is not such a good father? Yeah. You know, we can be fathers, but we are fathers because you helped in baby making. But then
mm,
being a dad is something else. Yeah.
mm,
So I become so afraid for this child, and I'm like, what if he does something to this child? Or maybe he did. So these are the kind of thoughts that run in my head, and then I'm like, oh no, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do. But it happened, and
mm,
every time, actually, trust me, every time I see a man holding a girl child, I get anxious for that child. I'm afraid, and I just want to snatch them away from that man.
Hey, that's tough. That's tough to deal with. That's,
Mm,
I hope it doesn't get to become a disorder in you. Yeah.
I
I hope you'll handle it and you'll take care of it. You
Yeah,
know?
I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Because we have therapists, and for people like us who handle this kind of cases, we have to go through therapy. We have
Mm,
to. Even counselors go through counseling.
mm, okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So
we
what?
have to, because we are humans and we can only take in so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless
So so.
unless I am apathetic and I don't have emotions, I'm cold.
Mm,
But then
mm,
if I was cold, I wouldn't be here. If I wasn't empathetic, I wouldn't be here. So for you to
mm,
work in this field, you have to be very passionate about people. You
mm.
have to be empathetic, and you have to be patient.
Have you ever cried?
Patient. Yes, yes, I have multiple
Oh,
times.
oh, no.
Multiple times. I do cry. I do cry. Sometimes I can even remember a case, and my heart feels so sad for that child, and I'm like, I hope they get better. I hope they get well. But I'll just tell you this: the day you hear a success story, you
Mm,
feel it was all worth it. Like, you feel like, oh wow, it was all worth it. Like, I had to be there for this child to get to where they are right now. So
mm,
there was a case that I handled a long time ago. I think back in 2022, 2022. And this child, she was so traumatized. Like, the impact was so severe that she had to go to a psychologist. She had to be administered medicines. Now, psychiatrists and counselors are different. Psychiatrists, they prescribe medicines for you, but for counselors, it's all about just talking and just helping you um, have a shift of mindset and accepting your situation and helping you through your healing journey, basically. But psychiatrists, they are able to prescribe medicines for you. So you can imagine somebody had to go through it. Like, the impact was so severe. You have to take medicines for you to be okay. If you're not taking medicines, you're not okay. You're not normal. You're just having anxiety and all. So this child, fast forward to, I think, last year, I'm getting a call and I'm being told she's in high school. She's doing so well. Um, and you're like, wow. Just when you thought, just when she thought maybe her life was over, she couldn't even go to school anymore. Here she is, progressing, getting that education, and she's living like everyone else. So that to
mm.
me is fulfilling. That to me is something that I feel I was born to do. I think I've said I was born to do this thing how many times now? I've
Say it
repeated
as
it.
many times as you can.
But yeah, trust me, you just have to be passionate. You have to be really passionate. Like, it has to be in your heart for you to do these things. Other than that,
Mm,
you can't. Other than that, you can't. Because being a social worker, people confuse. They think that being a social worker is about. Uh, I was once asked, is being a social worker something that you do to clean the roads and all that? Something to do with the environment, cleaning the environment, sweeping. And I'm like, oh
community
my
work.
God, community work. Oh my God, clean up.
Actually, I must have had such thoughts as well. But when I saw the GBV in the same sentence, I was like, okay, it's kind of different.
Mm.
I was seeing brooms running around my mind as well.
Wow. But I'm not surprised. I got that when I started doing this course. Most people don't really understand who is a social worker and what they do. And I think also because the government hasn't given it so much of a recognition. But you see, social workers, basically what they do is they help the suffering. They help the
Mm,
suffering. anyone who is going through any sort of injustice, any sort of mistreatment, because we also have domestic violence. With the right procedure and processes, I can rescue a child from, or I can rescue a woman from an abusive relationship. I can rescue a child from a home that is mistreating them. So we work closely with the children department, we work closely with the police, and we also work closely with the courts. So social worker is not about sweeping. It's not about
Yeah.
cleanups, beach cleanups and all. No, that is not a social worker. A social worker, they help lives. They help
All right.
lives. They help
All
the
right.
suffering. Yeah.
So what role does mentorship play in empowering young people, and how do you incorporate it in your organization?
Mentorship plays a big role. In fact, I think I mentioned earlier that words have power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, words have power.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm a firm believer of that. Words have power. The environment that we go through, uh, the parents that we have, they've had their own traumas, right? They've had their own traumas, and it's something that has been passed from generation to generation. So right now, why are we having these cases of depression? Right now, why is it that mental health is on the rise? I don't know if you've had, I think I saw some posts or memes that used to say, why is it that our parents never had these issues of mental health and all, but right now we have these issues of mental health? Maybe it's because they think it's because of social media and all that, but in reality, it's what has been passed down from generations to generations. Those traumas to a point whereby us as Gen Z, now we want to see a change. We are like, enough is enough. Yeah, we are like, we don't want to suffer anymore. So we want to declutter all this. So mentorship plays I'll say a pivotal role in our lives. Personally, I'm a beneficiary of mentorship. I have been through mentorship, and I've been through leadership programs, and through the benefits that I got, the benefit that I got from this mentorship. Have you ever learned or gotten information about something and you just want to share it to other people? You're like, I cannot just hold this information. I have to let people know. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I had that. Like the mentorship, whatever I learned, the progress that I saw in my life, the kind of mindset shift that I had. And I'm like, it was so bubbling in me. And I couldn't wait to get a platform whereby I can be able to tell my fellow young people that, hey, listen, this life is not all about this, what we've always been taught. We tend to glorify suffering. Yeah, we tend to glorify suffering, but it's not about, we don't have to suffer for you to be something amazing, for you to be significant. You don't have to go through suffering. So I realized that we glorify suffering so much, and we miss the whole point of living. We miss the whole point of living, and it becomes something that is just a routine that we have to follow, all of us, from our parents, because you're being told to do this, so we have to follow through this same routine. And it reaches that point whereby we just feel stuck. We feel like we don't have motivation, you have no inspiration. So mentorship plays this role whereby I can be able to change your perception. And success is all about changing that mindset and changing that, having that shift of perception. It's just that, our brain is a muscle, and the moment you train it, trust me, you are on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
And
Very,
you
very
find that
accurate.
whatever is coming your way, whatever you're attracting is, you're attracting good things. We talk of manifestation. So I don't base much on manifestation, but I believe in God, and I believe in His power, and I believe that whatever I do, the efforts that I put, anything that I pray for, if I leave it in his hands, then definitely, whether it works today, whether it works tomorrow, or even a year or 2 years, I know that it's gonna work. And if you have that kind of mindset, I believe that things are going to work out. Trust me, they will. And the experience that we get right now, maybe it's shaping you into receiving whatever you want to receive. So right now you're not ready to get it. Maybe you're asking for a lot of money, but then you're not ready to receive that money. So you have to go through some things in your life to prepare you to receive that money. So the moment you receive that huge amount of money, you know how to use it, you know how to utilize it. So that is mentorship. Mentorship that is just guiding you, helping you to have that a shift of mindset and see life in a brighter light.
That's very accurate. I mean, mentorship is opens doors to so many things. Even me, as I'm here, I'm getting mentored. Right now, I feel like I can handle the GBV cases.
Trust me, the moment you just need someone to guide you, someone to inspire you, and someone to let you know that these experiences are not just something that is gonna put you down or they're gonna make you suffer. They're all working in your favor. That is what I believe. Everything, every path, every day, whatever we go through, whatever we handle, is shaping us and making us transform and evolve. Because you know, it's, I usually say it's pathetic if you are 21 and you are now 25 and you're still the same person. Like I meet you in 2023 and I meet you in 2025 and you're still the same person, having the same perception, having the same mindset, like a rigid mindset. It's so pathetic because the world is evolving. You are always transforming. So you need to transform as well. You can't just be where you are. You can't just be in that zone or in that comfort zone. You have to evolve as well.
Yeah. I mean, the lack of mentorship is what keeps people where they are, right?
Yeah. And it actually makes you think small. It makes you think small. It makes you think that you are incapable. It makes you have that scarcity mindset. You know, as young people, we actually have that. That is a challenge we have. We're having scarcity mindset. So we need to let go of that scarcity mindset.
Okay. So how do you balance life as a social work officer and work at the county? How do you balance both?
I'm a social worker in the county.
Okay. Now with the Mombasa Jitambue. Yeah.
With Mombasa Jitambue. Okay, so for Mombasa Jitambue, this is something that I'm doing as a side thing, and normally we conduct our sessions after work, after working hours. That is because I can't let it interfere with my work. I can't let it interfere with my work because that would be, it would cost my work. Yeah, and I have a policy that I have to follow at work. So this is something that I'm doing as a side thing, and I tend to handle both in a way that it doesn't become overwhelming. So I have a team. I have a team, which is an amazing team. It's like my support system, and they're very motivated, and they're always ready and energetic to conduct these sessions. So what we normally do, everyone has their session. So I'm not the only one who is conducting sessions every day. Each person has a session they conduct. They have a topic that they take on. So it becomes a balance for us. I don't get so overwhelmed with having to facilitate these sessions every day. So today I'm going to handle a session, tomorrow somebody else is going to handle a session. So for me, I'll just sit down and relax and maybe just share my thoughts in between the sessions. Maybe if somebody has a question, So that is how we do it. And we conduct our sessions twice a week. So it's not an everyday thing. We conduct our sessions twice a week during the evening times, because I work from morning till 4:30. From 4:30 and the rest of the evening, I'm just free. So during that free time is when we conduct our sessions. So I normally utilize, we normally utilize this free time or our free time to conduct sessions for Mombasa Gitambue. That's how we do it.
Okay. Yeah, it seems it balance itself out. Yeah. Okay. So how can policymakers, business, and general public contribute more effectively to addressing GBV and mental health challenges?
So for the policymakers, I'll say they need to be on the ground. You know, it starts from the grassroots level. You cannot come up with policies if you don't have hands-on experience, because it's like you come up with something. I feel you need this, but I haven't done maybe a needs assessment. I don't know what you need. You haven't told me anything. But then let's say all you need is a job. All you need is a job for you to keep going. Yeah. But then I can't just give you money. I didn't ask you if you need money or you need a job. So I just hand you money. So you're like, okay, you've given me money. Money, it can't help me. But this is not what I need. I need to be in a place where I can work, where I can feel like I'm actually doing something. I'm contributing to my people. You know, there's that feeling we need to have of feeling significant, of feeling valuable. We need that. But then I just come and give you money and that's it. Okay, you've given me money, I've used the money. Then what next? Yeah. So, and I'll say generally for the business people, for the society, what they need to do is they need to be informed. They need to be informed about these processes, about the reporting mechanism, about what is happening to our children. You know, we don't just overlook these things. We don't just condone them. But then we call a spade a spade. If my neighbor is a perpetrator, then you are a perpetrator. And I won't see you as any other person but a perpetrator. You know?
Yeah.
Because you realize the prevalence of these cases is because we are protecting them. What if we stop protecting these people? That is the only way we can we can seize these cases. That is the only way our society can change. It has to start with us. So that parent, that sister, that neighbor, point them out, report them. You do not keep quiet. You do not stay silent. You have to report these people. You have to call them out if you must, because you're not a professional person. So call them out. You know, there are privileges if you're not handling things in a professional way. Like you can always call them out. I hope I'm not.
Yeah, you can call them out because most of the time there are people who just
call them out.
ignore. Yeah, there are people who are just like, this is not my business.
Yeah, exactly. Like it didn't happen to me, it didn't happen to my child, so why bother? But call them out. That is the only way we can build a better society, honestly speaking. And you know, we blame the government. We have this tendency, yeah, when everything goes wrong in a wrong way or things are bad, we tend to blame the government. Yes, the government has a role to play. So as a county government, we are there handling these cases. But then what is happening at the grassroots level, at that particular environment? Who is there to change that? It's you. It's not me. I am there to support you. I am there to help you go through this entire process until you get justice. I will help you get back to that society. I will help you be reintegrated. I will help you heal. I will help you accept whatever has happened to you. But then that environment that you live in, who can change that? It is you, the person who is living there. You're the one who can change that, because you know it starts down, going up.
Mm.
because we live with these people and we've allowed them to do whatever they want to do. We've allowed them to do that. But what if we don't allow them no more? Then trust me, it's
But
gonna change.
what about the people who now take matters into their own hands? Because I know Africans, they at times they can press, you know.
Okay, define taking matters into your hand or your own hands. Is it
You see, like
um
me personally, I have been in a
mhm,
situation where I saw a guy hitting my neighbors, you know,
mm,
and it was
mm,
actually his wife. And I couldn't take it. For me, it took matters in my own. I went and dealt with him physically, you know. And if it was not for the guys around, I would have probably damaged the guy to a very,
mm,
very critical, you know. So
yeah,
guys like me, I think it was adrenaline because I didn't know how I got there because it was
yeah,
just I
mm,
saw him on the ground. It's when I realized, oh, I was actually handling him physically.
mm,
I thought I
mm,
was stopping him, but after the adrenaline had cooled down, I noticed, oh, I was
mm.
actually handling him physically. So, what about Africans who decide to take matters into their own hands?
Okay, I wouldn't advise to take matters into your own hands because it might lead to other things. Now you're being taken to the police station, it becomes a whole other issue because
Mm,
you have no authority or mandate to do that. So your responsibility is to ensure that you take these people to the authority. You report these cases, and if you know the right people, maybe you know where we are located. So say you are in Mombasa and we are located at Tononoka Social Hall. So now you have information that there's a facility that handles these cases. I have gone to the police station, but at the same time you get an OB. Then you come to this facility and you're like, so this thing has happened in my neighborhood, and I want to report. What can you guys? How can you guys help me out? What do you advise? So from there we take it to the next level. Maybe if you didn't go to the hospital, or maybe you went to the hospital, we see what next to do. Sometimes people need lawyers, so we connect you with children officers because there are lawyers who are doing pro bono work for the children and also domestic violence. We have organizations that can offer pro bono lawyers like the FIDA. So we have these resources in our hands, and you are aware that there are people handling this. So I'll advise you just follow this right procedure for you to not be in the wrong hands, or for you to not to be, uh, you know, to be mishandled as well, because you're trying to help. And
mm,
sometimes emotions take over us, and we tend to act violently,
yeah,
maybe, or irrationally. But
yeah,
it's just
because
a
honestly,
circumstance.
yeah, because even me, honestly, that day I didn't understand what happened to me. I didn't know how I even
Mm,
got there.
mm,
The
mm,
emotions, the adrenaline just took over me because I remember there was a time I was not in the house.
mm,
Um, it's my brother who handled it. The
mm,
guy did the same act, and
mm.
he was fortunate that he could run away, but because my father was also going, my brother was actually going for him to handle him physically. Because at times as Africans we believe it's not about the police; it's let's deal with man to man. You know, if you're gonna handle our
Yeah.
women like this, then we'll deal with you accordingly. Anyway, uh,
Because you feel like going through that entire procedure, it takes time, it takes long. Like, until when are we going to find this justice? Let me just do it and get done with it. Yeah, it
yeah.
makes sense. It makes sense.
So, what skills or qualities do you think are essential for someone looking to make a difference in social work and community development?
Passion, like I mentioned
Mm,
earlier. This work
mm,
you have to be passionate about it. You have to be
mm,
passionate about it. You have to be patient because you're gonna deal with when you're dealing with people, people. Sometimes it's not
mm.
easy to deal with them. So you're handling different kind of people. You don't know about their upbringing. You don't know what kind of environment they grew up in. You don't know what lessons they've had in life. Yeah. So people come with different personalities, with different traits. So you just need to be very patient when you're handling the different kind of people. Because I'll say one of the things that okay, I won't say it's a challenge. I won't say it's a challenge, but I appear small. I appear
And
younger
so,
than my age because I'm short and I look like a child. Basically, I look like a high school student.
are you not?
So, sorry? No. Yeah, so most people think I'm 17, I'm 18. Some this one time somebody told me I look 13. I think she was exaggerating.
For real. For real.
But yeah, so my appearance, I look like a student. And so you can imagine you're handling a case whereby a parent is neglecting the child's needs. And you need to tell this father they need to take care of the child. And this parent, this mother comes in and like, are you going to be the one talking to this father? This child is going to tell this father to take care of their own kids. Is this really going to work? So like they don't trust me. They don't trust me with they feel like I'm a child, I can't handle it, so they question my capabilities. But it doesn't stop me because I'm always handling them professionally, and I'm confident because I have information, I have experience. So with that confidence, it becomes easier for me to handle them. And
Mm.
so you tend to get such kind of maybe underestimation, people underestimating you and all. Maybe somebody can even come and insult you. So are you going to insult them back? You have to be emotionally intelligent. So emotional
Mm.
intelligence is key when you're dealing with people. Emotional intelligence is key. And yeah, you have to be empathetic, you have to be patient, emotional intelligence, you have to be passionate. And you have to love this work, honestly speaking. And everything else just comes in naturally. And you have
Mm.
to be well informed. You have to be well informed. You have to know the right people that you need to work with, and that is the network that you are supposed to have, especially in this field of GBV. You really have to know the lawyers. You have to know, like I said, we work with the court, we work with the police, we work with the children's department. So these are key stakeholders that you have to work with for you to help these survivors.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
And
are
you have
sharp,
you
sharp
have to
qualities.
be you have to have good interpersonal skills, basically.
Mm. Okay. I think I have all of them. Am I qualified?
Well, like you said, you
Apart from
adrenaline kicked
pattern,
in and you are about to hit people. So how are you going to handle GBV cases?
I can change for the better.
You can change. Yeah, I believe you can change.
Oh, okay. Okay. So what do you think are the goals for Mombasa Ditambwe for the next 1 year?
Why didn't you ask me 5 years?
I know because actually I just remember there's someone who we were listening to an interview and my friend was like, why do you have to ask someone about 5 years? And it seemed so wrong to ask that type of question. So I just remembered, I was like, okay, let me switch it up to 1 year.
Okay, well, okay, 1 year is reasonable. 1 year is reasonable. Okay, for this, I'll say for the 2025, where I'm seeing Mombasa Jitambue. So, this year we are working on publishing a book. So, I'll say for this first quarter, I'm hopeful, or I'm hoping that we get to publish this book, because Mombasa Jitambue is not funded in any way. We conduct our sessions for free, so we don't get paid in any way. And right now we are trying to bring on board different uh, donors, different organizations, people who can actually help us in achieving our goals. So I'm looking at expanding our network from Mombasa Jitambue, because if we want this program to be sustainable, we need a strong network, and we need people to support us. We need people to support us. You know, the goal for Mombasa Jitambue is actually to help these young people find income through their talents. So you're not just building that talent, but you need to find a way how you can monetize your talent. So this is something that you love. This is a talent. You know, it's always fun to work with something that you're talented in. So you can base your career with what you've been gifted. And it becomes amazing. It becomes fulfilling. You're not just out here trying to make ends meet. You're not just out here trying to build wealth, but at the same time you get to have fun. At the same time you get to love whatever you're doing, because you realize we spend a bigger percentage of our lives working. Let's say 70% of our lives. So 70% of your life, how are you going to make it count is what matters. And the best way is to focus on what you love, is to focus on the things that make you happy, the things that excite you, the things that constantly keep you motivated. So for Mombasa Jitambue, we for this 1 year we want to work with 2 cohorts. At least we get to have an impact to more youth in Mombasa. So for this cohort we have 15 members, and we are hoping to get more members in the next cohort, of which we can retain, because it's a challenge for us. Some come because they want to find a way whereby we can tell them, okay, these are the people that you need for you to get money. But for us, it's not just about getting money. It's about the impact, the fulfillment that you as a person you're gonna get. We are chasing success. We are chasing success. But to us, success is the amount of money we have in our bank account. How many cars do we own? Yeah. What kind of businesses am I in? Do I have one business, or am I conducting several businesses? To us, that is success. Being so busy is a success. But personally, I feel, to me, I define success as, if I was in this level, like in terms of perception, in terms of mindset, and in terms of growth. If I was in this in level 2 and now I'm in level 3, like achieving a milestone, to me that is success. Changing or transforming someone's life and seeing life in a better lens, to me that is success. So to me, success is not about what you acquire. It's about the impact. It's about how you feel. It's about who you are, from how you used to be and how you are right now. So to me, that is success. Because you know, we see success as something perfect. We see it as something very hard to achieve. But the moment you get that confidence, the moment you believe that you are capable of doing anything, the moment that you realize or recognize your strength, and you recognize that you are able to do this, you know, that self-esteem and the confidence that you get, you can achieve anything. Whatever you want to be, you can achieve. And you know, the thing I'll say, as Gen Z,
This Gen Z,
we
thing should
yeah,
come to a halt.
yeah. I don't want them to think that they think I'm calling them out or anything. I'm also a Gen Z, but we want things to happen so fast. We want to see ourselves becoming these big people, you know, the fame, the money, the success. We want things to work so fast, basically. But get to embrace that experience. because that is where it is. That's where it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So the last question will be: what advice do you have for the young entrepreneurs who are looking to make sustainable, impactful initiatives?
Okay. Let me not talk about specifically the entrepreneurs, but to talk generally to the young people. Can you allow me to do that? Because
Yes.
this is for everyone. Yeah, this is for everyone. It works for everyone else, whether you are an entrepreneur or you are into medicine or whatever. But then, basically, an advice I'll say is don't don't rush. Like I mentioned earlier, we want success to happen so fast. Like we want magic to happen in our lives. We want to wake up overnight. We want to wake up and you're like, success is at my door. But what I can say to my fellow young people is nothing has been lost. Nothing has been lost. If you see Shaq, you see Zahida, and you think that now they're on these platforms, they've made it in life, and I'm their age, but I'm still who I am. I haven't done anything, I haven't achieved anything. Nothing has been lost. As long as you wake up, as long as you have been given a chance to wake up another day, I normally tell people this: as long as you got to wake up another day, that is a chance for you to do something about your life. There is an opportunity for you to be better. So yesterday has passed. You can't do anything, you can't change, but you can do something right now, right this moment. You can make a decision that is going to change your life. You can right now you are able to take a step that is going to change your life, that is going to have a whole different shift in your life. So nothing has been lost. It's never too late. If you are able to wake up, please. And I will urge you guys to go on a journey of self-discovery. Don't let society tell you who you are. Be the one to define yourself. So the journey is amazing. The journey is tough. The journey is confusing, but it's worth it at the end of the day. Because I'm confident that who I am right now, no one can tell me to be something. Like no one can tell me, no one can define me basically, and no one can put me down because I recognize my strength. I understand myself. I understand my emotions, and I accept situations. Whenever I'm wrong, I accept if I'm wrong. I do apologize when I'm wrong because it doesn't make me small, but it makes me feel better about myself. You know, something simple like apology. People think that if I apologize to someone, then I'm gonna demean myself or I'm gonna, but it's actually something that is working in your favor. Even forgiveness, because you hold a grudge, you hold bitterness and resentment. Who is hurting? It's you, not the other person. So if you forgive that person, then you have let go. You know, we hold so much unnecessary things. But if you are able to let go of all this, then trust me, life is not so hard. Life is not so complicated. I mean, I don't have it all. I might seem like I have it all, but trust me, I just see life as something that I can, not as survival, but something that I get fulfilled with whatever I do. So life is beautiful. Life is amazing only when you want it to be amazing. Only when you want to see it as being beautiful. But if you want to focus on the negativities and all the bad things that are happening, then you'll see bad things happening in your life. But if you focus on the good, then of course, good will come back.
Yeah.
And be
Good advice.
intentional about everything that you do. Be intentional about everything that you do. So don't be a social worker because you want to be seen. Because you want to be seen on social media. Like, you mentioned earlier you've seen me on social media and all that, and I'm like, oh, okay. But it's not
Mm.
about that. It's not about the visibility. Social media is good if you utilize it in a good way. It's good if you want people to be inspired, if you want people to learn from you, then you are using it in the right way. But if you get into this field because you want to be seen, you want to be famous, in the long run you're gonna get tired, and you'll be like, what am I doing? You don't even know why you do what you do, but because you started this with all the wrong reasons. So anything that you want to do, anything that you want to be intentional about it. Intentional plays a big role in our lives and the decision
Mm.
that you make.
What an advice. These are the parts where if we were close, I would just give me a hug. This has been emotional. Wow,
I
wow,
have so
wow,
much,
wow.
I'm a mentor, and if you ask me, I I can just keep on mentoring you and mentoring you. Like
Mm,
it's in my
mm,
bloodstream right now.
mm. Yeah, those are good words. Even me, I'm thinking because as you mentioned, nowadays you're living in a microwave generation where we want success so fast. I was there.
Mm,
I'm still there, but I'm working on it
mm,
to take things slow. But that's
yeah.
really, really good advice. A very nice part to end it. I'm really grateful. I want to leave my viewers to go before I chat with you for a while and then for some few things. But thank you, everyone who has joined today. Go support, go follow Brand Rico Amor, Allo.co, Allo.co for your fashion items, for your Valentine's and wedding dresses. And also let's donate to Rufina School. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for being with us. It has been quite a long podcast, but a very, very eye-opening one. And I hope you guys have learned as I have learned. So see you in the next episode. Ciao.